Today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little folio that is so quick and easy to make, and you can add to your journal, show off the beautiful paper that you have that goes with whatever the collection is that you're using, and it's so quick and easy. Let's get into how we make this. For this accordion fold little booklet or folio, we're going to start off with a 12-inch sheet of paper. And so I've gotten just, I took a 12 by 12 and I've cut a 4-inch tall strip. So it's 4 by 12, and then also score every 3. So at 3, 6, and 9. So that's going to give us the places where we're going to do some folding. And I have also cut out 8 little card size almost. So because each individual piece is 4 by 3 or 3 by 4, I have cut these to 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And so you're going to need 8 of these. Now this paper, you can use any kind of decorative paper that you have. This paper I have gotten as part of my kit that comes with the Country Cottage from My Porch Prints that I've gotten off of Etsy, and it's because I'm going to be using this, like I said, for my junk journal that goes along with that. And so it comes with these beautiful papers, and I just printed out some pieces on cardstock because I know I'm going to be using them for other parts of this journal and pieces that I'm making. So we have our strip, and it's time to do some folding. So let's do some folding. And we're just going to use these score lines we have in our bone folder. And remember the days of when we would make the fans, accordion fold. You fold one direction one way, and then we're going to fold back the next one, and then the other direction with our last fold. And you know it's accordion because depending on how you look, you have a W or an M, and that is our accordion fold. Now, I really want these burnished down, and the way I'm going to do it with my book, I'm going to have this as my front cover. It's really not going to matter because I am not really doing any distinguishing things besides putting pretty paper in there for right now, and then I can add things later as I want. To soften up my booklet, I do want to round the corners, and so I am taking my corner round punch, and I want to round every face. That's what I'm calling this 3 by 4 piece, every face. And so I think I can use with my corner chomper, put the entire thing in there, and it chomps it out. Yes, so I've got this corner around here. Let's make sure I'm still on a 1/2 inch. Have to give it a little bit of muscle. Line that up through the corners, and one more. If you have to do each individual page, that works as well. So this is how our little booklet looks right now. And you can see how those rounding each of the corners gives that look here when we have everything open. You can really see. Now we're also going to need to round the corners of our little pages because that doesn't really fit now. So I'm going to stack up about 4 of these at a time. And let's put this in our punch, and there we go. We can round these all at once, or at least in a set of 4. Now let's choose which piece we want on the very front. And I just love all these. They go so well. I love this clock. That is an option because I want something extra special. I love the roses. I have used all of these pieces in my journal for different pieces. I love the books as well. That's really pretty. That may make an option, one or the other, for our front piece here. And then we have a back piece that shows. So I think I may use the clock on the front. And then we'll put the books with, those look like magnolia flowers to me. We'll put that on the back. So now it's just a series or a time of gluing these on. So I'm going to lay everything flat. This will be my front cover and this is going to be the back. And I think we're going to use my Tombow glue for this. I have my ink. I may also want to ink the edges. So let's go ahead and we'll work on that as well. They really don't need a lot, but just a bit. As I'm gluing these, I will do that. I'm gonna make sure I get close to the edge. And just kind of get that in the center. And this will just be a pretty book of pictures, a little folio. I'm going to go ahead and do our back piece. So I will make sure and get that in there and not put it in the wrong place. And you know, you can make these little booklets for any of your projects, and you just change out the color, the background of your cardstock, and whatever decorative paper you're using. And that's just, it's a nice little piece to have. You can put these in pockets or clip them in. We're going to add another little feature into our book in just a moment that we can have a spot for this little folio. But we'll get this worked on first. But don't be surprised if you see other little folios like this in some of my upcoming projects, because I really like this look. I think it adds, it's a cute little thing, and it's a way to show off multiple pieces of paper, and you don't have to really, it's not very intensive. After you get everything cut, then it's just gluing things on pretty much. Now we're going to flip it over and let's work on these four. So this is also a good project if you have scraps and you want to use up your paper, but you really don't have maybe like enough for a huge covered project, but you need, you know, a 3x4, less than a 3x4. And of course you can also make a smaller one of these, just adjust your dimensions. But I think I do like using the 12-inch strip, giving you at least 4 pieces. So that's, to me, a good dimension there to have that. But you could have it taller. And you can always combine your cardstock to make it longer than the 12 inches. And make a thicker book. I just love these roses. And one more piece to add on here. I like to ink these edges too, because it just takes, if there's any little discrepancies where we've done any of our cutting or rounding the corners, this ink covers it right up. And I think this is going to be the last of using our glue for this project, at least for this portion. And we'll have that in place. And that finishes up our gluing. Isn't that lovely? So now we can just fold everything up. We open up here, we've got our beautiful clocks, watches, I guess those are watches. And we have the paper here. And we flip over. And on this side, with the accordion fold, there. Okay, so, but as you can see, as we hold it here, it doesn't close all the way. So I've got some jute ribbon, and this is a smaller pack that I found. I have a huge ball of this somewhere, and I just haven't been able to find it. I don't know where I've put it. I want to have enough of the jute to wrap around, and then we're going to tie. So let's see, this turned out to be probably close to 14 inches. I was also thinking it would be fun to add a little charm to the front with the jute. And so I have this little container here of really more nature type pieces of charms. I think, let's see, we have the silver, and then we also have the more gold toned, and I think I want to go with the gold tone. Okay, so I have these little bird houses. I think that would look really cute on there. It would be neat if I had a little watch or a clock, but I don't have one in this container. I may have some somewhere else. This leaf is going to be great to use this fall. But I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? So for now, we've got this, and we need to attach a ring to it. So I have my container with the little rings. Let's see, I'm going to go with one of these rings. And let me take my tools here, and we're going to just slide this open. And we will attach this here. That way it will hang and kind of we have this dangle. Okay. Now we will take our string, our jute, and I just want to, this can be tied anyway. I'm just going to use like a bow, I think, because we want it to be able to be untied, because we want people to be able to look inside. But I am going to tie this onto the end of the string. And so it will kind of hang. I'm just going to do a double knot. And I think that's going to hold. If I have any problems with this, I can always go in and add a little bit of glue to that knot. And just to have this hanging there. And if we want it to be even closer, we'll just make the bow a little bit larger. So I think that turns out really cute. There's so many different things that you can do with this. You can clip it closed. You can have some other type of ribbon or something, but I think this fits the vibe of our book. Now let me show you how we're going to put it inside here. This is how easy it's going to be to include our little accordion booklet to our junk journal. I just got a strip of paper that is approximately 8 inches, not quite all the way 8 inches, by 1 3/4 inches. I've inked it. This is a piece of paper that matches this set. I'm going to make a belly band that is vertical, and so I've picked out a page here. It's actually the middle of one of my signatures. I'm going to start off with a strip of two-sided tape, and I'm just going to put, I think this is about a 1/2 inch tape. that we will include across the top. And then let's add a piece across the bottom. And we're also going to use some glue. So this will give us just the reinforcement, and it will set this piece before the glue has had time to dry all the way. So let's go ahead and I will remove the cover from this tape. I can feel up underneath there. And now we'll take our glue and let's put a little bit of that over the top of that tape. And I like to place mine, especially when I have something in mind, like this booklet, I'm going to place it about in the middle of the page. And just press those sides down. I don't want it, I kind of like having a little bit of a feel, or a little bit of a give here. I don't want it super tight so that things can't fit underneath there, but yet we also want things to be able to be held in place there. So I think that tape is going to help us, and over time then that glue is going to dry. But so I can show you, here is our little folio. We're going to just slide this right inside here. And there's so many different ways we can do it. I think I'm going to do it, so I want my, let's make my bow come off to the side just a little bit. And we're going to set this right in here like this. And now we have a perfect little spot for that booklet. I love when my journals are chunky and have lots of things. And that's what we're going to do for this right now, is use this little belly band to hold our booklet in place. So I hope you've enjoyed watching us make this cute little folio. So many places that we can add this to our projects, and it's so simple and quick to do. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you again on the next project.